So we're going to do number 5 today. It says, heaven and earth are not benevolent. To them the 10,000 things are honored and then forgotten. The sage is not benevolent. To them people are honored and then forgotten. The space between heaven and earth is like a bellows or a flute, empty yet not. More there is movement, more that springs forth. Too many words is exhausting, not as good as maintaining the center. So that's chapter 5. The first part, heaven and earth not being benevolent, the sage therefore not being benevolent, this is a reference to Confucianism. So like I was saying before, when this was written, there was a lot of competing other philosophies. And so part of what these verses do is trying to distinguish itself and its thoughts from other traditions. And so benevolence and ritual and tradition is some of the key things that Confucianism focuses on. And so this is essentially saying, well, we looked at heaven and earth and I don't think they're very Confucianist. So maybe we don't need to be Confucianist either. That's the first part of this. And then it goes on to say, the space between heaven and earth is like bellows or a flute. Bellows meaning the part of a furnace that pumps air into the furnace, heating it up. The relevance is that a furnace is something that transforms things. It takes metal, which is solid, and turns it into liquid. And then you can reshape it. So it has this imagery of alchemy with the bellows. The flute is also something that is also hollow and also does a magical transformation in that it creates music from the movement of air. And so, of course, this is where we start getting some overlap with ideas related to Qigong, where the body is something that also has these transformations that are possible. And it says that the more there is movement, the more that springs forth. So the key is to allow the movement to happen, and then the transformations will arise almost of their own accord. And then the last part, there's too many words is exhausting. It's better to maintain the center. The first it has two meanings at the same time. The first one is, well, we could talk about this forever, but we're not going to get anywhere. We actually just need to experience these things rather than just talk about it. But at the same time, there's another meaning I'm pretty sure in the Chinese language with this statement, because it comes just after talking about how there's this space and this empty space that produces more and more. But if we fill this space with words, then the potential of that space is consumed. So this is another meaning that is happening at the same time. So with that statement. And then it says, instead of doing too much talking, instead of adding too many words, the proper way to approach this is to maintain the center. And so, again, it has a little bit of an overlap with ideas within Qigong, which is that idea of that internal transformation that can produce more and more potential. But to harness it or to tap into it is not by filling the space with words, filling our mind with words. It's by just bringing ourselves back to center.